Every day, crimes are committed and investigators are given new cases. Luckily, South Mississippi has several dedicated detectives who haven't given up on cold cases. Pascagoula detective Darren Versaja is one of those.
It's hard for me to fathom that a human being doesn't have anybody that loves them.
In reopening a cold case from 1975, Versaja has discovered several forgotten cases that have never been solved. 4 of those victims have never been identified. Before Interstate 10 was completed, near what's now Highway 613 in Jackson County, 2 days after Christmas in 1977, hunters discovered some bones. Those bones belong to a black female who investigators have yet to identify. They believe she looked something like this and was between 35 and 45 years old.
She had the most identifying marks that I can find, a tooth, a gold tooth that had a rectangle in it. And I thought, you know, somebody's going to remember that. And so we put that all out into the on the web.
Since you've put that out on the web, have you had any calls?
One call on that one. Not one call on that one. She at least had one child that we know of, and if that's true, that child is still out there.
Versaja says the way the woman was left in the woods suggests she was murdered. DNA testing has been done, but as of right now, there is no match on record. 2 of the other unidentified cases Versaja is working are even tougher. He says both of the victims' facial reconstructions were found at the Jackson County Coroner's Office years after the cases had gone cold.
I said, Vicki, have you got any boxes of bones that are left over that we haven't sent tested yet? And she says, well, I've got 2 reconstructions here in my office. I don't have any paperwork on them. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they came from.
Versaja is having the reconstructions redone right now to get a better idea of what these people looked like. One of the victims was a man believed to have been European or Asian.
Sent him off for DNA testing. They believe that he probably came from overseas based on the statistics. And the thought then was that maybe he fell off a boat.
The man was found floating near Chevron in April of 1992. An autopsy showed he may have been frozen before he was put in the water. He is believed to have been between 30 and 50 years old with sand brown and gray hair.
Any information that's...
Christy Johnson is a crime scene investigator with Harrison County Sheriff's Department. She too is reopening cold cases and recently, with the help of Versaja, discovered 2 victims in Harrison County and 1 in Stone County who have never been identified.
It's really important to not forget about these cases. There's somebody out there that cares about these people, and I want to give them the effort they deserve.
One of the cases she is working has been even more difficult than most.
He was a victim of a homicide and he was burned very badly, so we have no facial reconstruction available. We don't have any idea what he could have looked like in life.
He was found on January 19, 1987 on Highway 49 in Saussure in front of a home.
On his autopsy, we know he is a young adult, white male, probably 18 to 30 years old. He was 5'6" to 5'7", and he was petite in physique. He was only about 130 pounds.
The man has since been buried, which means a facial reconstruction will probably never be able to be done. Despite that limitation, Johnson is not giving up.
We're comparing his physical characteristics to all of the missing person cases. We also have DNA in progress. During his autopsy, hair was pulled, so we're hoping we can get a DNA profile from his hair.
Ellen Leach works a full-time job at a local store. She has no background in law enforcement, but has helped solve several unidentified persons cases.
Every day after work, this is what I do. I go onto the site, try to make matches. I try to get cases. I email people. I snail mail people. It's a lot of work.
Leach's passion to help stems from her own personal tragedy.
2 of my cousins went missing back in the 90s. They were found deceased, and that's when I started looking at the missing person sites trying to find my cousins.
In 2009, she started a website called Mississippi Missing and Unidentified Persons, the first and only list of its kind in the state.
It's the sense of loss, and these people don't know what happened to their loved ones or their friends, and it's just to get closure for them so they know what happened, know where they were.
She has more than 140 missing people listed on her site and 53 unidentified people.
And I monitor them all the time so I can help them find them.
The more people that see the pictures and details about the victims, the better chance detectives have to solve the case.
Sometimes, in our cases, the smallest little bit of information is the last piece of information that I needed. And it could be anything.
Just know that if you send us information, we will look into it and we will figure it out.
Across South Mississippi, law enforcement agencies are taking another look at cold cases and sharing information amongst one another.
We're here for them if they need help, or we have resources that they don't, or if they have resources that we don't, we can all work together and get some of these cases solved.
But investigators also need the help from you. Detectives urge anyone who is missing a loved one to call police, even if they have been missing for a long time.
I really hope one day we can find, at the very least, find out who these people are, and bring them home to their families.
Without a missing persons report or someone looking for these people, there's very little hope that the unidentified victims will ever get their name back.